that was
Okay,
the alert.
I know you talked a little bit about it earlier, but you know, you talk about covering the drug war and the excesses of the drug war. I feel like
Yeah.
little has changed. When people talk about Breonna Taylor's death and it was horrific, I don't think people, once again, we don't get to the root causes of anything. To me, that was a drug war death. They were
Yeah.
merely going in that apartment, and we don't know all the facts, but I
Yeah.
think they're going to come out and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. But they were strictly going after evidence retrieval
Yeah.
against the guy,
Yeah.
right? There was evidence retrieval, right? It wasn't going to get someone violent. So they broke in someone's house at 12:30 at night looking for
Yeah.
drugs. That was a complete drug war thing. But just so we can, what were the excesses that you were looking for, at that time when you were covering things?
Really bad. There was a lot of bad searches, bad cavity searches in the open. People. There was one cop who I wrote about a lot who would, pull a guy's pants down and root around in their anal cavities for drugs. That's illegal. You can't do it. You just can't do that. And I wrote about that a lot. Bad searches, those kinds of things. There was a search very similar to the Breonna Taylor one that I wrote about in one neighborhood where just they went to the wrong house, barged in, messed everything up. I think they arrested the woman. They knew it was the wrong house at a certain point, and then they just carried it forward anyways. They just pretended like they were there. They were there for the right reasons. Wrote about that case. So there was a lot of those kinds of stories. Then there was just the jump outs. You have the stop and frisk. We have the jump out squads, and so I wrote a lot about those. Just the car police car runs to a corner. Everyone jumps out. They pat everybody down. It's humiliating. A lot of times those ended in violence. Cops beating the crap out of kids. So that was a pretty common thing. There was one story I wrote about a lieutenant who beat up a guy, at one corner, and the other cops intervened. They stopped him. I wanted to write about that story actually in the essay. I just didn't have room for it because I didn't. When I reread the piece, I thought, and maybe we'll get to this part of it too, but just it was so focused on the white cops like doing the right thing and not on the victim. He's barely in the story. And I was like, that's the kind of story that I would have ripped, the last couple of years, like because I've seen that kind of story lately too, where it's like,
Mhm.
the profile of the white cop who does the right thing and stands, won't shoot, or won't beat up a guy and then gets in trouble. It's just a profile of that cop. Oh, he joined the force, after 9/11, or he has a dog, all the whatever things that make them human.
Mhm.
And I did the same thing, and I couldn't believe that I gave that the victim in the story had almost no agency other than being a victim. So that was one of the things that I thought was a shortcoming in my reporting.